Coming up, we have local reaction from coal miners about proposed federal legislation that could get rid of existing sources of energy production. And today begins the last day of the legislative session. We'll have some of the topics on the agenda, including the big one, kitchen reform. And why officials say a new facility for newborns is desperately needed in southern Kentucky.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Thursday, March 28th. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, what can folks expect on their way out to work today?
Depends on where you are. If you live up a little higher, maybe on some of those ridge tops, a little bit warmer. But if you're down in the valleys like most of us, a little on the cooler side, but not as cold as it was yesterday. Let's take a look at the camera network first this morning. We start in McKee down in Jackson County. A quiet start to this Thursday here as we approach 5:30. And you see on Live Pinpoint Doppler radar took the ground clutter off there, so we're looking at those clean sweeps once again as you head out the door. Looking at temperatures across the board, anywhere from 35 to about 39 in the valley locations, and anywhere from about 43 to about 48 on the ridge tops this morning. The weather app forecast, where you can download that on either app store. You see basically a few clouds in the mix today as temperatures approach 70 degrees a little bit later on. Could be a little bit above that for some locations if you see less cloud cover. The rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Taylor?
All right, thank you, Brandon. One of the creators of the Green New Deal is coming to eastern Kentucky. Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accepted an invitation from Congressman Andy Barr. One of the goals of the deal is to replace existing energy sources like coal with renewable forms. WYMT's Justin Case has reaction from some local miners.
The Green New Deal would create drastic changes in our country that would focus on attacking climate change. Here's a glimpse of the exchange that led a Kentucky congressman to invite Representative Ocasio-Cortez to the mountains.
This is serious. This should not be a partisan issue. This is about our constituents and all of our lives.
And I want to invite the gentlelady to come to eastern Kentucky, my home area, where thousands of coal miners no longer have paychecks.
One coal miner we talked with says he's been a miner for about 30 years.
Coal has provided me and my family with each and everything we've been blessed with.
Joe Daniels says working in coal is helping him send his children to college. For him, working in mines is a way of life, something that's been passed down from generation to generation.
That's the talk at the supper table. That's the talk on the hunting trips. That's the talk on the riverbank fishing. And that's kind of just what you know. And it just wasn't that we woke up one day and decided to be a coal miner. It's just really handed down to all of us.
Other officials at JRL Coal in Harlan County say without coal in this region, other local businesses might not survive.
Everything from the biscuits the guys buy in the morning to their groceries to the local hardware stores, the car dealerships, everything's based around coal.
And there are not many options for one reason or another. Other industries, for the most part, have not moved here.
There's not really much reason for other industry to come in here. So the coal's what supported this area for many years.
John Quintrell sees the deal as something that increases the divide between us when we are at a time when we must come together.
The mine Justin visited in Harlan County just hired more than 260 miners last month. It's still not clear when Representative Ocasio-Cortez will come to Kentucky or what part she might visit. Meanwhile, leaders from across the region are trying to light a way forward to the future of eastern Kentucky. That was the message Wednesday at the Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative in Hazard, where students and local leaders joined together to discuss the future. The conversation focused on the assets of the region, addressed some of the challenges, and talked about possible solutions.
We've got an issue of poverty that's really the plight of the area. We have the highest poverty rates in the nation. We have the highest unemployment rates in the nation. And our economy is struggling, which impacts every facet of government and life. So the whole point of coming together here is to try to start the dialogue to solve some of these issues.
Innovators in the region hope to use the ideas discussed to help eastern Kentucky thrive rather than merely survive. They also hope to create the nation's first edu economy, connecting education and economic development. And for the second time, a federal judge strikes down Governor Bevin's Medicaid requirements in Kentucky. A federal judge says states cannot refashion Medicaid in any way they choose. Governor Bevin wanted to add work or volunteer requirements for the program. 16 Medicaid recipients sued. The new rules were set to take effect next Monday. About 30% of Kentucky's population is enrolled in Medicaid. And the parents of 2 students killed at Marshall County High School last year hope a new law will prevent another tragedy. They joined Governor Bevin yesterday for a ceremonial signing of the school safety bill. Hillary Thornton talked to the parents who hope no one else will go through the pain they have.
Because their legacy will forever change the way in which we protect and take care of young people in the Commonwealth.
Governor Bevin talking about 2 students killed last year in Marshall County, Preston Cope and Bailey Holt. Senate Bill 1 is the result of a working group that formed in the wake of that school shooting. Preston's dad holding on to his baseball glove at today's ceremony.
He used it every day. I mean, you can I put my hands in it and I just feel like I'm holding his hand.
The families say it is a great start towards improving school safety. It puts an increased focus on the mental health needs of students as well as oversight of school safety through things like a statewide school safety marshal.
You send a healthy child to school and you get that call. You don't ever want a parent to feel that.
Still, the big question remains surrounding this all, how it will be funded. Lawmakers and Governor Bevin, if he is reelected, all saying they will make sure the money is there.
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, if there is anything, this is the role of government, is to take care of our citizens.
The governor also talking about, while under different circumstances, his own experience with losing his oldest daughter.
She was a senior in high school, went to school like these children, didn't come home. And it was interesting, when these things happen, there's no words I could use to describe to you what that's like. And so I have a sense of solidarity with these families. Out of that type of loss, you want something good to come. And so as a dad, I'm just grateful for this legislation.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
The governor also ceremonially signed House Bill 46, which requires the nation's motto of "In God We Trust" be displayed in Kentucky schools. And with today being the last day of the legislative session this year, pension reform is on the minds of educators across the state. In the past, teachers from many districts have staged sick-outs, using their sick days to go protest legislation at the state capitol. Kentucky Education Commissioner Wayne Lewis is asking educators not to call in sick to work to flood Frankfort. He says if work stoppages continue, disciplinary action is possible. Union officials say it's important for teachers to pick their battles.
When we keep running out the door, when we continuously show up for things that maybe we don't necessarily need the strength at on that day, we need to save our strength for the big one that's coming.
Lewis says if teachers still feel they need to protest, they should use personal days and not sick time to do so. And a statewide group of health departments is hoping much of today's session is spent on passing pension relief. A one-year cap on how much money they have to pay toward pensions is about to expire. Right now, it's at 49%. Without an extension, health departments would have to pay 84%. That's a payment many departments say they can't afford.
We understand that we have to make change, and we're really attempting to do that. And we just need that one more year to get it done.
The House and Senate have passed different versions of a pension relief measure. Legislative leaders tell us they hope to compromise on a bill that passes. And a new study finds the gender pay gap has been shrinking during the last 3 years. Experts say, however, at the current rate, there won't be a level playing field until the year 2070. The latest study from Glassdoor Economic Research finds women now earn 79 cents for every dollar a man makes. That's up 3 cents from 2016.
If progress continues at about the same pace as we've seen recently, we could see the gender pay gap close completely by 2070. So that's within one lifetime.
Congress is watching the issue too. Lawmakers have introduced the Paycheck Fairness Act, which would add more protections for women in workforce. And in other news, a Southern Kentucky hospital wants to add a new wing for new babies. St. Joseph London needs $1.4 million for a neonatal intensive care unit. A substantial number of babies and mothers are currently being sent to Kentucky Children's Hospital in Lexington to better care for the babies. This increase in babies needing NICU care is in direct relation to the state's drug epidemic and mothers having their babies at older ages.
Board-certified neonatologists, nurse practitioners 24/7, and the specialty equipment that goes into creating a NICU can also be very expensive, very specialized equipment for these tiny babies.
Coming up in our 6:30 half hour, WKYT's Miranda Combs has more from a doctor about why keeping babies in their home communities is best for everyone. And the first unmanned aerial systems drone conference hosted by USA Droneport starts tomorrow. Professionals plan to travel across the nation to discuss national defense with drones, cybersecurity, software and programming, 3D modeling, and layout and design. Organizers say this training shares basic skills and advanced sessions in a short time frame. 3 keynote speakers, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao, Governor Matt Bevin, and Congressman Hal Rogers are expected to speak at Saturday's luncheon.
I hope that we'll get some inflection of the future with UAS drones and how we fit into the plans in the airspace.
More than 200 people have signed up for the event. However, if you would like to sign up, you still can. Go to our website, WYMT.com, to find the link. Coming up, the star of a popular TV show spent some time here in the mountains recently. We'll tell you why.
We're expecting another gorgeous day here across the mountains, but unfortunately some changes are coming for the weekend. I'll have all the details in about 3 minutes.